welcome back to Johnny Reads. Today I have my second This Week's in Books video, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. First thing I want to talk to you about is the collusion case against Apple that has been going through the courts for a really long time now. The ruling has been upheld, and if you don't know, here's what happened. Apple, a few years ago, conspired or colluded with other major Big Five publishers in order to jack up the prices of ebooks against Amazon. Everybody was against Amazon. And since the case has been in the courts, all the publishers have all settled out of court with Amazon, but Apple has tried to stay their path and keep going, and it is just not looking good for them. Their price looks like it will be $450 million. Looks like the ruling that was handed down a while back was just upheld by an appeals court, and the only thing left for Apple to do is Supreme Court. But I just can't imagine them taking up a case like that. But I mean, you never know. And Apple's, of course, has appealed it. But when you have all the other ones have already settled and Apple hasn't, I don't know. The second thing I want to tell you about is there's a book that was published just last month, and it was called A Birthday Cake for George Washington. It's a kid's book, and it basically tells the story of George Washington's chef, Hercules. He was trying to make a cake for George Washington without any sugar. It's just regular, children's book. But there was a lot of backlash for the book because the illustrator chose to draw all the characters who were all slaves at the time, and in the story portrayed them as being really happy and smiling and laughing and cheerful, when everybody who knows anything about American history knows that it just would not have been the case. And this week, I think yesterday actually, the book has since, just so you know, the book was pulled from distribution, so it is not being sold at all, I believe. And the author defended the book and said that it was well researched and blah blah blah, and everybody's jumping to conclusions and everything. But the author even admitted to having reservations about the illustrations. I mean, come on now. I don't want to hear the excuse that the author and the illustrator don't work together. That's not an excuse to me. There was somebody along the lines here who should have just said, wait a minute, I don't think this is right. And nobody did, and the book was eventually published, and then there was a huge backlash, and now the author is defending the work. I mean, I guess I understand it, but I don't agree with it. It was just a terrible, terrible way of doing it, and it's completely wrong. The last thing I want to talk to you about, and it's more of a question, and it's not something that's really in the news right now. It's something that I just found out this week, and I'm just curious to know if anybody else is aware. Did you know Khloe Kardashian wrote a book? It's so funny to me because I just can't imagine any story that Khloe Kardashian could write or think of or have a ghostwriter write that I would be interested in. I mean, what story does she have to tell? I don't know. And I thought it was hilarious when I saw her book come in, and it's the worst title ever. It's Strong Looks Better Naked. I don't know. Anyway, those are the 3 stories that I have for you today. Let me know if you've heard anything else recently going on about books or publishing or anything in the comments, and I will see you next time.